Okay, I need you to lean in for a moment. Did you lean in? Okay, catch this message, catch this information, catch this video on today. I'm giving you 3 powerful things that you need to do. Do you hear me? 3 powerful things that you need to do to start an online ministry. And before I even get started in this video, would you believe me when I tell you that actually getting behind this camera, actually getting out here online, stepping out and doing all the background things is not the hard part at all. It's not hard. The hard part about even being in a position where we can get out here, where we can start the online ministry, where we can do what it is that God is calling us, it's the internal things. It's the internal battles that we're dealing with day by day. It's the going back and forth with yourself of whether or not you should be doing this, right? It's the fear, it's the doubt that you may be feeling surrounding stepping out and starting an online ministry, feeling like it's too big. And so that's the most important part. And that's what's the most powerful, important things that you have to focus on as you begin to step out and build an online ministry. And so I'm starting with the number one thing that you need to do, and that is to begin working on your identity. Your identity is so important, especially in a place like this where God is calling you to the masses. God is calling you into ministry. God is calling you to people, right? To serve people. You got to be in a position where you're able to be that authority. You're able to be that leader. Even if God is using you to get on social media, he's birthing the business, or even if he's taking the online ministry that he's birthing on the inside of you to take you somewhere else, to take you to another place, to take you somewhere deeper, we got to know who we are. We got to know who we are in God. We got to believe in the vision that God has given us. We got to believe in the ministry that God is sending us out to do. We have to have values. We have to know what we stand for. We can't believe that people are going to listen to us or listen to what we got to talk about or feel like we can lead other people if we're not doing that internal work on ourselves. And that's the doubt, right? That's the fear, right? That's feeling like I'm not even qualified. Who am I to be starting a ministry? Who am I to be stepping out in this way? Who am I to be being used by God? So we got to work on that. So you have to take a time and a season to get before God, right? Get in front of God, strengthen your relationship with God, really get before God and figure out who you are in God. Figure out how God wants to use you. Figure out who you really are in the kingdom, what God says about you. What God says about you is a whole lot important, is much more important than what other people got to say, right? Or even the things, the self-doubt, the self-negative talk that you talk back to yourself, or even the lies of the enemy that you may continue to come into agreement with. No, we got to get before our Creator. We got to get before our Father. And if God is calling us to step out, to start an online ministry, to step out here on social media, to get behind this camera, we got to know that we can do this. We got to know that we walk in authority. We got to know that we are either the woman for the job or the man for the job. So all these other things that you think you got to do, oh, I got to learn this. I got to learn the technical stuff. I got to learn all these things. I don't know how to create this. I don't know. All of those things are the easy things because God is going to send you the resources. God is going to send you the destiny helpers. God is going to send you everything you need. Playbook, play by play, step by step. He's going to do all those things. He's going to send it to you. But you have to be in a place where you know who you are. You're able to understand your identity in God, and you're able to believe that I am the woman for the job. I am the man for the job, that I can do this. Number 2, this is the number 2 thing that you need to start an online ministry. In addition to the identity that you have to start working on, those internal things, right? That internal battle that you're dealing with. The number 2 thing is just mindset, really. And you have to come into a mindset of serving. Before you think you're about to get out here and start an online ministry, before you think you're about to get out here and be called to people, you have to have a heart of serving. That's what ministry is all about. Ministry is about serving. Ministry is about putting others before yourself. Ministry is about giving back to others. So if God is calling you to start an online ministry, you have to take yourself out of the equation. And this is why it's so important. I started with number 1 with the identity. This is why it's so important to start with these things before we start putting our hands to things, because when we are thinking too much on ourselves, or if we letting fear, we letting fear and doubt continue to come in and hold us back, we're not thinking about people. We're only thinking about ourselves. We're only thinking about our own insecurities. We're only thinking about the things that will affect us from being able to serve, from being able to step out, from being able to pour ourselves and give ourselves into ministry. So we got to deal with those things, right? We got to deal with the identity. We have to have a mindset of serving. Everything that you do, when you begin to step out and do this ministry, when you begin to step out and get behind this camera and start creating and start serving, you have to put it in your mind, this is not about me. It's not about me. And you got to continue to ask God that every day. God, all of you and none of me. All of you and none of me. Because if it's me, if I'm putting it all on me, God, I'm not going to get up and do this. I'm not going to get up and work on these things that you need me to work on, God. I'm not going to get up and have a mindset to tell my testimony, to do these things. I'm not going to have that mind to do that, because I'm leaning too much on myself. I'm thinking too much about myself. And we got to get out of the way of ourselves. We have to serve. Serving is all about what we are doing for others. Serving is all about less of me. How can I serve? So you got to put it on your mind. I'm out here serving God's people, whether that be encouraging, right? Whether that be you coaching, whether that be you giving, whether that just be you getting behind camera and speaking positivity and speaking good things in order to add to someone's life. We have to have the mindset to serve. We have to serve everything that you do. Everything that you put your hand to, every piece of content that you put out here in the world, in the earth realm, everything that you do, put it in the back of your mind. I'm serving this. I'm serving this. And God, whatever you want to do with this, whatever you want to do with this ebook, whatever you want to do with this video, God, whatever you want to do with this book, whatever it is that God is calling you to do, whatever it is, God, I'm serving it. And you take yourself out of the equation. That's what's going to stop you from feeling like, oh, I don't want to put this out. I'm doubting putting this out. That's what's going to stop you from feeling like, oh, I can't get on social media. I can't get behind this camera because I'm too afraid. I'm too scared. You got to get yourself out of the way, because it's not about you. It's about God's glory, and it's about the people that God is calling you to through this online ministry. And the last thing that I want to leave you with, this is number 3, is just to start creating. If God is birthing an online ministry on the inside of you, you don't have all the pieces. You probably don't have all the pieces. You don't know where this is going. You don't know where God is leading you. He might just right now in this moment be showing you the vision. So you're starting to believe the vision, and you're starting to be like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to start putting my hands down to things. But you don't know. You don't know how God wants to lead you. You really don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Just start creating, because I can guarantee if God is birthing a ministry on the inside of you, if God is birthing a business on the inside of you, the creativity is flowing. It's flowing. The ideas, it may be 100 ideas that's coming at one time, and it's crowding your mind. That's why you feel like you're so confused. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to start. But those are the ideas are flowing, and you got to just start working at it. You just got to start working at it. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you a quick testimony. I remember when God, this was last year, when God began to give me a vision that I was going to do a challenge, right? He was putting it in my heart that he wanted me to help people to find their identity. He wanted me to help people know their identity, to begin to find their identity in him. And he just started showing me that, but I didn't really know what he wanted me to do. It was just a small glimpse of something, right? And I'm like, God, I don't really understand. I don't really have the clarity or the direction of what you want me to do. I don't know. But what I did know is I know that this is something that God wants me to do. And even though the overall picture is not clear, I know this is something that I'm going to have to do. So I started working on the things that I could do, the things that I could understand, right? I started doing the little marketing things, right? Or the ideas that God was putting in my mind. okay, I know that I might be, I'm talking about identity. So let me start putting together a guide. Let me start putting together a guide to start walking people through how they begin to find their identity. Just the little things that I can put my hands on. I couldn't put my hands on everything, but there was just little things that I can start doing it. And it wasn't until like a month later where the vision was clear. The vision was clear. Everything that God was showing me, he gave me the clarity. He gave me the direction. And so I was ready to get up and start moving. But guess what? Guess what? Now that I have the full vision, I'm not starting from square one. I'm not starting from scratch, because I've already started putting my hands to things because I knew where God was leading me. It may not have been clear. I may not have had the full overall picture, but I was able to start. So when I actually started, it was easy. It was easy. It was only just a few more extra pieces. It was actually putting the stuff out there to pull the people into the challenge, because I already did the legwork, right? I already did all the background stuff. I already did the creating. So right now, whatever ministry that God is birthing on the inside of you, whatever God is birthing in you, he's giving you the creativity, and you just start with whatever you have. I don't care if it's a little thing. You take that little thing, you put a vision behind it, and you begin working. You begin moving on just that little thing, that little idea that God may be giving you. And I'm telling you, that idea is going to continue to grow. And as you start with this piece, God said, okay, you did that piece. I can trust you with that. So now I'm going to give you another part of the vision. Now I'm going to give you something else to start putting your hand on. So whatever God is putting in front of you, just start creating. Start moving on the thing that God has placed in front of you right now. Don't worry about the bigger picture. Don't worry about all the other pieces that you think is too hard and too confusing, and I don't know how to do this and I don't know how to do that. I guarantee that there's at least one little thing. Listen to me. There's at least one little thing that God has placed in front of you, that he has put in your lap for you to pick up and start moving on. So that's what you have to do. These are 3 powerful things that you have to do to start an online ministry. You remember what I said in the beginning of this video? Actually starting this online ministry and getting out here and have it to go and flowing, that's not the hard part. It's the little things like this. It's this identity that we got to work on. We got to work on our mindset, put our minds to the fact that I'm serving something for a bigger purpose. I'm serving for God. I'm serving for God's glory, right? And whatever God has placed on in front of me, I got to start moving on it. I got to start creating. I got to start doing something with it. I love you guys so much. I love you with the love of God. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you were truly encouraged, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Before you leave, because remember what I talked about in this video. We working on the identity, right? We working on the mindset, and everything that God is calling us to do. We got to make sure we getting before God so we can get the clarity, we can get the direction, so we can get his lead. We can take his lead on what it is that he wants us to do and how he wants us to start this online ministry. So I have a free ebook for you. It's giving you 3 ways that you can begin strengthening your relationship with God, because that's key. That's key. We're going to need that. We got to make sure we stay before God. We got to make sure that we're staying in his face, in his presence, so we can get everything we need to move into this next place, to move into this next season, to be able to serve, to be able to have the identity, to be able to get out here and do ministry. So I want you guys to download this free ebook. It's really going to help you. It's really going to encourage you, and it's really going to strengthen your relationship with God as he begins to take you into this new place, and as he begins to help you to start this online ministry. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video.